How do you ask your relatives about their Indigenous roots when they don't want to talk about it? There are a lot of painful and traumatic memories for Indigenous people that lead them to not wanting to express their Indigenous culture, learn about it, or even learn about their ancestors. While this is completely understandable and everyone's journey is different, what do you do if you do want to learn about it? How do you approach elders to find out about this information? If this sounds like you, this video should give you a little bit of guidance as you navigate asking your relatives or your community about your ancestry. Hi there, my name is Mallory. Welcome back to the Tribal Trade channel, where we share new videos every single week about smudging, the Indigenous culture, Native teachings, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you never miss a video. Understanding your ancestry is an important part of developing our identity. It can be crucial to understanding who we are. If you feel like you're missing that part of you, don't worry, you're not alone. The first step is asking your family about your ancestry, which can be difficult to navigate. Conversations about ancestry are going to be different for everyone. While we can't help you figure out exactly how the conversation will go, we can give you some tips for how to prepare, what kind of mental state to try to be in, and how to acknowledge your family members' feelings about the discussion. Here at Tribal Trade Co., we know exactly how difficult it can be to learn about your culture, but also how freeing and fulfilling it is when you finally do. That's why I love to help guide people through their journey toward discovering their ancestry. Not only so that you feel more prepared, but so that you know you're not alone on your journey. I hope that by the end of this video, you'll feel ready to ask your relatives about your ancestry so that you are one step closer to understanding who you really are. As with any potentially difficult conversation, you will want to approach it as respectfully, empathetically, and calmly as possible to help you stay in that mindset and evaluate the conversation from all perspectives. There are a few things you'll want to try to keep in mind, which I will explain over the course of this video. Remember that everyone comes from different backgrounds and different comfort levels, so you can absolutely adjust these techniques to fit you and your family members. The first thing to keep in mind while talking to your relatives about your ancestry is to understand their reluctance and how it must feel for them to talk about it. It is so important to start any conversation by putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Ask yourself how it must feel for them to talk about it and how those feelings might contribute to their reluctance to share with you. Sometimes we think that our family choosing not to share with us is personal, like they're intentionally keeping important information from us. This can lead to high tensions, defensiveness, and even anger. In reality, keeping this kind of information from us often isn't personal. Instead, not wanting to share comes from a place of pain, fear, or even trauma. Acknowledging that perspective can put you in an open, honest, and non-confrontational perspective for beginning this very important conversation. The second way to try starting this conversation is to express how it feels for you to not know about your ancestry. Just as it is important to put yourself in the other person's shoes, try asking them to put themselves in yours. Ask them to see it from your point of view by being vulnerable. Explain how it feels for you to not know about your ancestry. You aren't just asking to pester them about something they don't want to talk about. It is crucially important to you that you know. Voicing your feelings out loud creates a two-way street and dynamic for the conversation. Now you understand each other's thoughts and feelings, which is a powerful first step. If you have had a difficult conversation like this before, what are some of the things that helped you navigate it? If you feel comfortable, please share in the comments below. Now that we've talked briefly about how to mentally prepare for the beginning of this conversation, let's take a look at a few more ways you can drive the conversation in a respectful way. The third thing to do when talking about your ancestry with your relatives is to communicate why you want to know more. If the family member understands why, it might help them feel more comfortable giving you answers, and can also help them determine what information might be the most helpful for you. This can create a simple structure for the conversation, which can help it feel less forced or less awkward. If you have specific goals for the conversation in mind, feel free to share those so that your family member knows what to expect. You can also explain why this knowledge is important so that they know that they're playing an important role in your journey. Now, the fourth thing to keep in mind throughout your conversation is try to approach them with gratitude, understanding, and patience. The more patient, understanding, and appreciative you are, the easier it makes the conversation on your relative. Always lead with kindness, and hopefully you will receive kindness in return. Acknowledging that this might be difficult for them and thanking them for doing it anyway is a great way to demonstrate respect and understanding, which can only improve your conversation and your relationship. And lastly, the final thing to communicate as you speak with your relatives about your ancestry should be that it is okay not to share, but that it would mean the world to you if they did. Always provide the other person with an opportunity not to participate. No one likes to feel forced into doing anything. Be sure to demonstrate that it is perfectly acceptable for them to deny your request to talk about it. However, it's also important to acknowledge how much it would mean to you if they choose to share. This puts the decision completely in their hands. They have all the information and can make an informed and empathetic choice. Remember, while it's important for you to know about your ancestry, the knowledge, stories, and information your family has belongs to them. It can't be forced out of them if they don't feel comfortable sharing. If you're struggling to have these conversations with your family or elders and you need a supportive community to lean on, check out our Facebook group, a safe, inclusive space full of people who completely understand what you're going through. One of the best ways to connect with your culture is to connect with people who feel exactly like you do. I know it isn't easy, but I have total faith that you will handle any conversation you may have with grace, peace, gratitude, and wisdom. I hope this video gives you the foundation to take that first step. Once they're ready to share, keep a lookout for part 2 of this video where we'll talk about how to best document or organize the information that is shared with you. We can't wait to see you next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.